The purpose of this video is to help you with your ongoing mineral chart. I'm going to go through each of the minerals in order and talk about them, and you can follow along on your chart and perhaps improve your answers as you go. A little quiz for yourself as you go along is to watch this without looking at your mineral chart and try to name the minerals before I do as they appear on the screen. The mineral you're looking at here is calcite. This mineral has a cubic crystal structure. It's clear, of course. It has cleavage in two directions. So any little piece that might break off of this is going to break off in the same shape because of the cleavage in two directions. One of the special properties of this mineral is that it can bend light. And if you put it over letters, you will see it has a bit of a double vision effect. It's bending the light. And so that's one special property of calcite. The next mineral on your list is this one. This is feldspar. This is pretty much the only color feldspar comes in. It's kind of a pinkish orange. This mineral happens to be very prevalent in granite. So whenever you see granite that is pink, it is feldspar. Feldspar has cleavage, and you can see that because of the way it has broken. I would say the luster of feldspar, somewhat glassy, but it's not as glassy as some of the other minerals, but that's probably the best way to describe the luster of feldspar. This mineral is Wisconsin's state mineral. It has a metallic luster. It is a dark gray purple color. It too has cleavage in two directions, which is an indication of its crystal shape as cubic. So also when galena breaks, it breaks into these similar shaped pieces. Galena is also the most dense mineral that we have been studying. The next mineral is graphite. This mineral has a silky to glassy luster. It is soft, very soft. You can scratch this mineral with your fingernail. You can also perform a streak test on your paper with this mineral, and that's a good way to tell what it is because your pencils are, the pencil lead is graphite. Our next mineral is halite. Halite can look two different ways. This is another sample of halite. Both of the halites have a glassy luster. The one on the left, you can see the crystal structure a little bit more easily because it has cleavage in two directions, just like many of the other minerals we've looked at so far. But I do want you to be aware that halite can look like this as well. Let's examine the halite like this. Halite has a glassy luster, as I said, and cleavage in two directions. One kind of special property about halite is the fact that it tastes salty. So if you were to identify this on your test, you could lick your finger, lick the halite, or touch the halite, and then lick your finger again, and it should taste salty. This next mineral is one of our 4 black minerals and can be a challenge to identify those 4 black minerals. This one is hematite. This mineral has a metallic luster. Sometimes some samples are a little dull, but this metallic luster mineral, hematite, will streak a color different than itself. You can see I have already streaked this mineral here. It streaks a slightly brownish, reddish color, and the mineral itself is obviously not that color. And on your quiz, your test, I will provide you with a streak plate so you can streak test hematite to see if in fact it is hematite. This mineral has fracture, by the way. Next we have magnetite. Magnetite, this particular sample looks like it has cleavage. However, magnetite does not. This particular one must have been cut in a special way. But this magnetite has a special property of magnetism. When the pieces are larger and fresher, they will be more magnetic. This magnetite has a metallic luster. It's obviously dark gray to black in color. And this magnetite, when streaked on a streak plate, will streak the same color as the mineral itself. Another black mineral, possibly black anyway, is this piece of mica. This is the rock that the mica came from, so you can see it flaked right off because it has cleavage in one direction. This mica can also come in a lighter color, like so. And it has a glassy luster. Next is this one, often called fool's gold. It does have a cubic crystal structure. It's a little easy to see here at the tip of my finger. Obviously a metallic luster, and it has fracture. This piece of quartz is a nice sample that shows the crystal structure of quartz. You see the long, narrow columns with the pointed ends. That is the crystal structure of quartz. This sample is white, clear. We also have a rose quartz sample and a smoky quartz sample. All of them have a glassy luster. They're all very hard, and they all have fracture. Next we have selenite, which is another one of our clear minerals. Selenite, also called gypsum, has cleavage in one direction. Here's the other sample that we've been looking at of gypsum, and this one's not clear, but you can definitely see that it has cleavage. This sample of selenite, as all samples of selenite, is very soft, has a glassy luster, and like I said, cleavage in one direction. Just like the mica has cleavage in one direction. Next is sulfur. This is our only yellow mineral, probably one of the easiest ones we have to identify for the test. Many kids think the sulfur smells a bit like a match that has been blown out, or fireworks, or rotten eggs sometimes describes the smell of sulfur. Sulfur has an earthy to somewhat glassy luster. Finally, we have talc. Talc is the softest mineral. This particular sample is exceptionally dark. Talc is usually a little lighter, but this sample has been handled over many, many years. And as you can see, I can easily scratch the talc with my fingernail. And it's turning white under there, and you can see the powder of the talc on my finger. It's very soft. That's where talcum powder comes from. One of the main ingredients is talc. Talc has fracture, by the way. If this video went a little too quickly for you, you can simply watch it again and try to fill in your ongoing mineral chart. Thanks for watching, and good luck on your test.